Hi everyone, it's Marlene. Welcome back to my channel. And here we are again with one of Amy's incredible challenges. Before I start, I don't want to forget, please stop by and visit Amy and Lori, and I will link their links down below in the description box so you can see how they answered their 3 questions. And this video is 3 questions all about me. And when I asked Amy, are we going to do this all the same question? And she said, no, just 3 questions that you want the world to know about you, or that you don't mind the world knowing about you, something along those lines. So after she said anything I want to talk about, I sat down and I really thought about this, and I just thought I wanted to tell you something that really very few people know about me, or and that you probably wouldn't expect. So here goes. I'll start off with the 70s. In the latter part of the 70s, when I was about, I would say about 18, 19, 20, right around there, I had a 76 Nova, all spruced up. And I would take it out to Englishtown, New Jersey, and I would race it in the quarter mile. And I had so much fun. And I did it in 10 seconds. Oh my, what was I thinking? It was fun. You know, that's really when I learned how to drive a stick. So it was a lot of fun. Maybe they were just having pity on me. They would just see a girl, you know, going out there, and they would just let me win the race, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, all right. So that is my first, the first thing about me. The second thing about me also has to do with cars. And when I was going to college, and it was probably it was the late 80s, early 90s. My kids were young. John and Steph were pretty young. And I needed to work. But you know what? It's very, very difficult to have a day job. And I was taking 4 or 5 classes per semester because I was 30 or 31 at the time, and I just wanted to get done. So I wanted to finish my degree very quickly. Well, but you know what? When you've got 2 kids to support, you got to work. So at the time, right before I started college, I was working at a car dealership, and I would do all the paperwork for the registration and all of that good stuff. So one day, the owner of the dealership approached me and said, you know, Marlene, you're pretty daring, and you have an incredible outgoing personality, and I think that you step up to challenges. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, why is he telling me this? Is he going to fire me and tell me I'm going to need another job? No, that wasn't it. He said, I know that you're starting school soon, and I'd really like to keep you on, but I know that you can't really work so much during the day with classes and all that. And he offered me to repo cars. So I was the repo girl, and I had keys, and I would go in the middle of the night, midnight, early evening, and I would repo cars. And sometimes, and I'm ashamed to say, sometimes I had Steph sleeping in the back seat, because what was I going to do? I had to make a living, and it came very, very easy to me. I had a friend that would come and drive my car, and I would get into the car and basically stealing it outside of the driveway, or pick it up at a Walmart center. even track it down. I tracked down cars all the way out to Washington State. So that's how I worked my way through college. And the last thing that I want to tell you about myself, I'm not probably one of the most devastating things that has ever happened to me. And I have learned throughout the years to get past it. But it took me an awful long time. And that is that I am ABD. That means all but dissertation. I went to college and I have my bachelor's degree in elementary ed, and then I went for my master's, and I have my master's in instructional technology, and then I started my doctoral program, and I finished. I took all of my classes, and it was the month of May, and I was ready to do my comps. I already had my committee and all of that good stuff, and I received the phone call that all of my funds, my loans, my financial aid, everything had been exhausted. I had used everything up. And I cried. I would go to sleep crying, and I would wake up crying for about 2 weeks. I was beyond devastated because it costs about $20,000, or that's what it cost at that time. In order to finish up just the dissertation portion of a doctoral degree. And I didn't have that money, and I wasn't going to get a personal loan. So it was horrible. It was horrible because I felt I had worked so incredibly hard. And I wasn't doing it because I wanted to be called doctor anything. I wanted to do it for me. I wanted to say, wow, I did it. And I still say, wow, I did it, despite all of the challenges that I came across as I went through my bachelor's and my master's, being a single mom and everything. And it was just devastating because it was a lot of work and a lot of staying up late at night, and I wasn't able to finish. So that was probably one of the most devastating things that have ever happened to me. And why am I sharing it with you? I don't know, because I was supposed to share 3 things about me. As you can see, I have moved on. I have learned to live with it. I have accepted it. I have embraced it, that it just wasn't meant to be. So, you know what? It is what it is. What can I say? Tell me 3 things about you that I don't know. Okay. Thank you, Amy, so much for inviting me to do this collaboration. Thank you, Lori, for joining us and saying yes. Please be sure to visit them. If you are new to my channel, welcome. And thank you all so much for spending some time with me and allowing me to follow my passion. Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate every single one of you. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.